The Community Reinvestment Association of North Carolina took a trip to Washington, D.C. on the Modify This tour. We took counselors, borrowers, and advocates to meet with the Federal Housing Finance Agency to discuss the pricing policies of Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac and its impact on low and moderate income communities and communities of color. We also met with Mark Pierce, who's in charge of consumer protections for the FDIC, and he told us about his plans for enforcement. We then went to the Department of Housing and Urban Development, where we met with the Deputy Director of Housing Counseling to discuss our concerns about cuts and the lack of documentation on the success of counselors. Today was one of celebrations and of exhaustion. We met with the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, the CFPB, the new agency to protect consumers from financial abuses. We discussed the practices of loan servicers. Some of those issues are fraud, and some are how borrowers have been abused. Our final meeting with JP Chase was the most emotional, as a borrower shared their story of 2 years of trying to get their loan modified. Their documents were lost, and they were ultimately denied. And while at first JP had a hard time hearing the emotional story, eventually counselors and borrowers were able to convey their frustration and the failures of JP Chase met with the borrowers and offered them a loan modification. They've also agreed to meet with other counselors and borrowers in North Carolina for change. It was a successful Modify This tour.